Hey everybody, my name is Justin. Welcome back to our BTR garage. Today we're going to be continuing the upgrades for my 2002 Ford F250. This time we have an S&B cold air intake that we're going to be installing onto the truck to further improve the miles per gallon and the efficiency of the truck, not only in daily driving situations, but also when we are towing. So we're going to go ahead and open up the box, check out what we've got inside, and start with the install. All right, taking a look at what we have in the box. We have what looks to be the main filter housing. Very nice, large plastic units. What is this guy? This looks like the intake tube itself. We got some hose clamps and couplers and things in here as well. Go ahead and leave that aside. Obviously, we have our massive air filter. This thing comes pre-oiled. It is an oiled filter, so you'll want to pick up an oil and filter cleaning kit for this particular filter. I'll put the links down in the description for all of this stuff as well. So if you're looking to buy this kit, you can go and pick it all up in the same place. And then what do we have here? Looks like another piece of the intake tract. Wow, it has like a really greasy, not greasy, but plastic film on the inside. I don't know if you can see the glare or not, but a really smooth coating on the inside. That's kind of interesting. Not sure what this is yet. Install instructions and some other pieces. Another giant gasket for part of the filter. And then what is the last piece here we have? This looks like maybe the bottom of the battery tray where the battery sits, because there's a battery on that side of the truck as well. So we have all the parts out from the kit. Now we got to go ahead and get the OEM airbox out of there, and then we can start installing the new S&B filter. Now before I go ahead and get started with the video, if you are installing one of these S&B cold air intakes, do follow your instructions. It comes with a really awesome set of color instructions actually that show you how to remove the stock airbox and install the S&B airbox appropriately. Use this video as a reference, but always follow the manufacturer's instructions. Now we're going to go ahead and get started and get that stock airbox out of there. Now, the removal of the stock airbox is pretty straightforward. Just follow the instructions. Everything is pretty simple. There is one or maybe two little things you want to take note of. If your truck has the stock electronic restriction gauge on the intake box, we'll show you that here. If you have one of those guys on your airbox, you're going to need to relocate it to the new S&B intake tube, which is not drilled for it from the factory. You can see here there's a little round section where you're going to need to drill a hole in the middle and put a new grommet, which the kit comes with, in case you do have that electronic sensor gauge. So now that we have this apart, we're going to go ahead and take that little gauge off of there that we just talked about, prep the new intake tube, and then we can start putting together the S&B airbox and getting it installed back in the truck. So we have just a couple things left to do here after getting the airbox mounted in the truck. We have our little restrictor gauge that we took out earlier. We drilled the hole in the side of the intake tube down here. We want to take this and place it back through the grommet. Simply push it through, make sure it's all the way in there nice and snug. We'll reconnect our little connector. Now back on the back side of the airbox, back here, you recall in the instructions there was a little hole down on the back side, down towards the bottom, where we put the intake air temperature sensor, which we also took off earlier. This little bitty sensor, you guys probably can't even see it. But we're gonna go ahead and slide that thing into the grommet in the back of the airbox. Next we have our nifty little see-through airbox cover, which goes on the top here and screws in with the provided screws. Alright, there we go, got that cover put on, looks really slick. Last thing we want to do is just hook up our battery terminals, and then I believe we are done. Alright, the intake installation is complete. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at it. Now we just have one more thing left to do. That is to start it up, see how it sounds, and also make sure we have no crazy leaks going on around the coupler connecting to the turbo inlet and around the airbox itself. All right, we're gonna go ahead and start the truck up, see if we hear any difference with the intake. So first start is good. Don't really hear much of a difference just with the startup. Now you can hear it with the engine revs. You can kind of hear the sucking of the air intake now, a little bit more, actually quite a bit more than before with the OEM intake. Cool, well everything seems to be working, at least from the inside. I'm going to jump into the engine bay and just make sure we have no leaks or anything like that going on. Alright, so we checked for leaks, everything is good and airtight. We're going to go ahead and take this thing out on the road real quick and see if I can actually hear or feel any difference with the new intake installed. So far, just at idle, it sounds pretty normal, just like it was with the OEM airbox on. Unless, of course, we revved it like we did inside, but so just cruising through the neighborhood right now, pretty slow speed, of course. You can kind of hear the turbo making a little bit of the whirring sound, you know, that it makes on deceleration or when you let off the gas. That kind of little whistle, I do hear that a little bit more. You can actually hear, I don't know if you can hear it over the microphone or not, but like a little bit of a sucking, surging sound when you let off the gas as well. We'll see what it's like when we get a little bit more speed going here. All right, you can definitely hear the difference now. Once the turbo spools up, turbo noises are louder. Everybody loves turbo noises, so that's a bonus. And it's not obnoxiously loud, which is a good thing. Give it a little more gas here and see how it sounds. Yes, yes, you can definitely hear the turbo sucking and spooling as you accelerate. It's a lot more audible than it was in the past. But once you ease off on the gas and kind of slow down, it's almost like it's not even there. It sounds pretty normal, actually. right, we'll accelerate one more time here. Even when you let off the gas, you can hear the turbo spooling down, I guess you would call that, or slowing down. Yeah, all kinds of new turbo noises that were not there before. That sounds pretty awesome. Oh man, that is good. That's a good upgrade. And the nice thing is, as soon as you kind of mellow out and get off the throttle, it's just like as if the truck was stock. You really don't hear much of anything. All right guys, the quick first sound impression of the S&B cold air intake. I like it a lot. And curious to see how this thing is gonna improve our efficiency in the end. But for now, we'll take it back to the garage and wrap up the video. All right, everybody, there we go. The S&B cold air intake installation is complete for my 2002 Ford F250. If you guys have any thoughts, comments, or questions, again, leave them down below. I would love to hear from you. I'll put links in the description for the cold air intake as well as the cleaning kit that you can get to clean your oiled filter, which you have to do once a year or so, or as recommended or as needed. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the product. The installation was pretty much a breeze, no real troubles there. Adds a good bit of sound to the car, and hopefully will increase the efficiency and miles per gallon of the truck as well, as that's what I am looking to do with these modifications on the truck. So this is the second upgrade in my little engine modification phase for the F250. We have one more left that I'm gonna do in a different video. That is the DP tuner, the final piece to this puzzle, which will unlock all of the optimizations and upgrades that we have on the truck, allowing us to change tunes or change driving performance based on the type of driving that we're doing, whether it's daily driving or towing, or even race modes for the truck if you're into that kind of thing. For me, I'm basically looking for towing efficiency and daily driving efficiency. So stick around for that video. We'll go ahead and wrap this one up. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for more good stuff coming up real soon, and I will catch you all next time.